Welcome back to Streaming Media East 2022 here in Boston at the Westin Copley. Today I've got with me Andreas Kisslinger with Lightcast. So tell us a little bit about Lightcast first of all.
Yeah, sure. Lightcast is an end-to-end OTT provider, enabling publishers to upload, transcode, store, and deliver all their content on demand, audio, video, live events, linear streams. To all devices and screens.
So you did a session in the innovation track just a minute ago. What was the topic of that?
It was about innovative OTT ROIs. We see that many new publishers of all verticals, industries, all types of organizations, from nonprofit, education, government, but also independent content creators, sometimes struggle to find a good business plan around their OTT presence and their media distribution. So we specialized in offering advice, but also a toolbox with various revenue opportunities beyond the beaten path, so beyond the standard advertising and subscriptions.
And in fact, that's probably timely because as we saw with Snap's announcement yesterday, sort of traditional online ads are not doing quite as well as people would expect at this point.
Yeah, it can be a challenge, and nowadays you need 5, and yesterday someone told me here at the show, even up to 20 different ad networks and demand partners to achieve a decent fill rate of 80%.
Right.
So, and that makes it very complex. And of course we can handle all that. In the Lightcast Media Cloud you can use 20 different demand partners and merge them all into a feed that goes across all devices, but still it makes it quite complex because then you have to make sure you get paid from each of these 20 different demand partners.
Just because the ads get served on your content doesn't necessarily mean you'll get paid.
Exactly.
So one of the things that yesterday we did the research keynote around the state of streaming, and one question we asked, especially for those who are interested in doing fast channels, was how satisfied they are with the revenues that have come in from their OTT channel or their fast channel. Turns out 54% were either neutral or not satisfied.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about ROIs, is part of that helping to set expectations for people who think, oh, my content's going to make me $1 million a month?
Yeah.
And then is there also that model of, okay, they do have some semi-premium content. How do you help them set expectations, I guess?
Yeah, that's really a great point. We actually try to help consult new startups and new customers early on to make the best decision on the best revenue model that fits their business and also their viewership size. And we distinguish between large audiences above 1 million views a month and small audiences below 1 million viewers a month. And with smaller viewerships, we do recommend to look at alternative other ROIs, such as lead gen for sales of service and products, and other forms of returns on the investment. While publishers are building their audiences to achieve the levels where advertising becomes actually a viable solution.
It's interesting you say this because we've now done 5 of these surveys, and Michelle, who you met, helps do the analytics on it. And we were talking the other day as we looked. We've always had questions around, AVOD, TVOD, advertising driven, but we've had a category we've left in there called free. And when we initially did this, the editor of the magazine and I argued about whether free was actually a revenue model. And I said, look at loss leaders. And ultimately what you're talking about is you may need to build the audience with some of it free and then at some point shift over once you get a critical mass.
Exactly, and subscriptions, for instance, does work for smaller audiences as well if the publisher produces content that speaks to a very specific group that is willing to fork out a credit card for that. But we also have something called Flexscription, where we allow the viewer to set the subscription price. And this is great for startups and media companies as they're growing their audiences, and which would otherwise give away the content for free entirely. And they say, well, if someone sets it to 0, we'll allow them to view it. At least we collected user data now that we can follow up with, and to everyone's surprise, often it exceeds their expectations as viewers set prices of $5, $10, $20 much higher than.
And then that also allows you to put your business model together to say, okay, I know the average the average subscriber may pay $5 a month.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's quite
it
interesting.
Gives you intel and everything, and sponsors. So many startups and media companies they don't realize that how many potential advertisers they already have in their pool of contacts within their network, who would be willing to, at a flat rate, pre-mid post-roll their ads around their content, both on demand and live content, and pay a monthly or annual flat rate, and they can be served just like any other advertising from within the Lightcast Media Cloud. So our publishers can upload and manage all of their direct sponsors' ads, and then serve them around all their content and get paid directly without any middleman getting any cut.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Andreas, thank you for your time today, and we'll be right back with the next guest.